All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Well, I guess I'll talk about our Arkansas Tech game, which was a heartbreaking loss for us and our kids, and just shows how far we've come a little bit, but also how much our guys care as opposed to, the last couple of years. We go down there, play them on their homecoming, their senior day. Packed stands, hostile environment. I told the kids all week they're going to have to play harder against an opponent that's very, very closely talent-wise matched to us, and the matchups were really similar. So, and it came out that way. I mean, it came down to the very last play of the game. So it was a wild game. We started off offensively and defensively started off really well. Offensively started off poorly, started off real slow. Throughout the first half, we only had 4 first downs. We controlled the clock, though. We had 2 more minutes of time possession in the first half. I think we had something like 10 more plays than they did the first half. They had 2 big plays that scored touchdowns. Ended up being 14-0 at halftime. We have a chance to score at the end. This is kind of indicative of some of the things that went on that day. We have a chance to score at the end of the half. Jacob Payton makes a great catch down the sideline. Looked like a receiver. He jumped up over the defensive player, who was a Division I transfer from Kansas State. Jacob jumped over him and caught the ball, and 31-yard catch. And then we go for the end zone towards the end of the half. And Riley's wide open on a great double move route, and Arte got the signal wrong. He thought he was supposed to do double move route, so Arte brings his defender into Riley, and their defender knocks the ball down. That defender should not even have been there. And we'd have scored, making it 14-7 going into half. But right after that, we give them the ball back. And Rontez Smith, we force a fumble. Rontez Smith picks it up, runs it 23 yards, and then they strip him. And they get the ball back 1st and 10. So if we'd have got the ball right there on the 30-yard line, we'd have another couple shots at the end zone with about 30 seconds left in that first half. So opportunities in the first half, those 2 opportunities to score, we kind of, let slip away. Then we go into halftime, make some adjustments. We've been great at halftime adjustments. We scored like 120-something points in the third quarter alone this year, which is really, really good for 1 quarter of any season. So we go in, make great halftime adjustments offensively. Defensively, they just need to keep doing what they're doing and make sure they don't make any big plays up. And we talked about this. First play, out of halftime, they score. 21-0. I'm like, okay, trying to keep our kids' heads in it. Hey, keep battling, keep fighting. We've been down before. Oklahoma Baptist come back and score. We scored 30 or more points in a quarter 3 times this year. So we knew we could score, or we have the confidence that we can score. So the very next play, we get the ball offensively after the kickoff return. It's we throw a 75-yard, what would have been a touchdown, but we fumble into the end zone. So we're just like, man, nothing is going our way. And Tamarick Cordy makes a great move to get open. Reed finds him right down the center of the field. Tamarick catches it, and he's running all the way down, and on the 2-yard line, he gets stripped from behind, and it goes in the end zone. Arte jumps on it, and their guy jump on it at the same time, and their guy gets it, so it's a touchback. So there's another touchdown taken off the board. It's like, man, what is going on? So then we get a defensive stop, and then we score, and then we score again. And then they score, it's 28-14. Then they score again, it's 35-14. And they score on a couple big plays again. And we just got to do better with our eyes in the back end and not let them score on big plays, because that's what they did. They big played us. Their offense had 8 big plays, 4 of them were touchdowns. By big plays, 20 or more yards per explosive play, and 2 passing, 2 rushing. At this point, it's 28-14. We come back and make it 28-21. Then they score again, 35. It was just back and forth, that 3rd and 4th quarter. And then it's 35-28. And funny story, Jordan Norris, our corner, who had already picked off a ball earlier in the game, he's coming off the sidelines. He's like, or coming off the sidelines on the field. He's like, hey, y'all, watch this. He literally says this to our team. He picks the ball off and scores a touchdown. Like, how did, I mean, it's just, he knew it. For some reason, he knew that was going to happen. I mean, he was telling people on the sideline it was about to happen. And he literally did it. And, which I've not seen very often in my career, especially from a defensive guy, because you don't really control everything. It's offense that controls it. But makes a great play, makes it 35-35. So there's about 5 minutes left in the game. When we kick off. And they, advance the ball, and it's 3rd and 3. We jump off sides and give them a first down. I'm just like, come on now. I mean, it's the first time our defense has been in a situation that late in the game with well, I take that back. Against Southeastern, it was that way too one time. And we got to do better at bowing our necks and not pressuring ourselves. I think we pressured ourselves a little bit. Olu jumps off sides, our nose guard, which is uncalled for. He's sitting right in front of the ball. That's stuff that kills you as a coach. And they get the first down the very next play. They're a big running back. They had a running back that was 255 pounds, just a big old kid. Rushed for like 170 on the day. He runs for a touchdown, 40-something yard touchdown run. And then they have 3 penalties on their extra point. So they kick their extra point to get it. So it's 42-35. So we're like, okay, you got to score a touchdown plus extra point, and then we go in overtime, unless we want to go for 2, depending on how I feel at the time. That's your thought process as a coach. And they got a holding on our corner, and they got 2 personal fouls, one after the play, one during the play. All right, so I'm like, okay, good. We'll take the point down. All right, we'll assess one of the penalties, hoping they miss, and then we'll get one of the penalties on the kickoff. So to give us 15 more yards on our kickoff return. Everything worked out perfect. All right, they missed the extra point. It's 41-35. Okay, it's a 6-point game. All right, they got to back up 15 yards to do the kickoff, so we get 15 more yards of field position. All right, so you're thinking as a coach, like, hey, we got this. I need to burn all the time too. So it's 4 minutes left in the game. We got to burn. I want to burn the time so they don't have any time left. If we score and kick the extra point to win the game, we get 2 first downs. Then we get the ball. I think the ball is on about the 15, 16 yard line. We get a holding call. They hadn't called not one holding call on us all day, not one. And they decided to choose that time to throw a holding call, which it wasn't even a holding call. We had several others they could have called throughout the day. Never called it. They call a holding call right then, so it makes it 2nd and 17. We call a quick game where I wish Reed would have run the ball. He threw it. It was incomplete, but if he had run it, give us half those yards back. So then it's 3rd and 17. I have all my timeouts, so I use them all right then so I can call the right play and make sure everybody knows what to do. And then the last play of the game, they call holding again. It's 4th and 17, which you don't have a lot of calls for. I just want them to throw it up, and they get pressure on us, and that's how virtually that's how the end game ends. You just sick to your stomach that it ends that way. You have a chance, being that close within the red zone to score, and you don't get it. It's heartbreaking. Because our kids did put everything into it. And it's great to see how far they've grown since. We play East Central, we beat them at homecoming. Then we go to Southeastern. And we pull within 6, and we just totally kind of shut down and play horrible and get, I won't say blown out, but lose by 20 points or whatever, but bring it within 6 to this game where, in the Oklahoma Baptist game where our guys, I don't know if it's they got to get down before they decide they have to score again or what. That's something we got to fix. Starting fast has been our problem all year. Scoring quickly early in the game has been a problem for us. Our first quarters are not good, have not been good, except for the first game of the year. So we got to do better at that in the last 2 games. But really proud of our kids. They never quit. They played extremely hard the whole time. We didn't have any what I call stupid penalties till the very last play of the game. For the most part, I'm really proud of our guys. We came up. Sometimes in sports, especially, you come up a little bit short, even though you give your all, and those are the ones that hurt the most. When you lose by 6 points or 1 possession in football, and you've given, really given your everything physically, those are the hard ones and the ones that are draining. So that's our challenge this week. Is hey, it's senior day. It's our last game of the year at home. Got a great opponent coming in. We can't have an emotional letdown. We got to come out playing hard and putting everything into it again. Because when you do put everything into something and it doesn't work out your way, a lot of times there's a letdown, and that's the one thing I'm really, really going to caution our guys against this week. So, but really proud of them. Really proud of how they came back from a deficit, a long road trip, kind of everything going against you, and then to battle back and really have a shot to win the game at the end was pretty amazing. If you saw us in the second half, we had almost 400 yards of offense in the second half. We scored 35 points total. One was a defensive touchdown, which was great to see. We just came up a little bit short. And, we had the opportunities to win the game, like I said. And then one thing I did not mention is they're in that third quarter as well. We had a punt. Actually, it was in the fourth quarter. Excuse me. This is how they scored their 35th point. They stop us, and then we go to punt, and our punter kicks it off the back of our shield guy because the punter, once he catches it, he's been punting real well. We're doing a rugby punt, so you got to come really flat. Well, he comes vertical up the field, and he basically kicks the ball into our guy. Bounce all the way back to the end zone. They get it and they score. It was a special teams mistake that really hurt us. So, there's 3 or 4 opportunities right there where we just kind of gave it away. And those things are upsetting, but at the same time, our guys never hung their head. They kept playing hard, and that's a big change in the culture of what we're doing. And what I keep telling them to do, and it's a real testament to them listening and trying to buy into what we're trying to accomplish here. And that was a really good thing. It was a big step for us, even though we didn't win the game, and that's hard for people to think about, but it was a big step for us in our program's growth and development. So happy about that. And then this week we got Harding coming in, number 5 in the country. Very, very good. They have third-ranked defense in the country. They're the only team averaging more points than us offensively in the league. They're averaging 40 points a game. We're averaging right at 37.8, 38 points a game. So they're averaging a couple more points a game than we are. They're only giving up 12 points a game defensively. Their defense is loaded with seniors. Every starter is a senior. And most of the backups are seniors as well on defense. So very, very experienced defense. And then offensively, they have a senior quarterback, 3 senior running backs where they run the triple option, which you don't see a lot. They're the only team that runs the true wing T type option that you're going to see on Saturday. Real heavy senior laden team. So they've built this up to this year. They're built for this year. And Coach Huckaba's done a great job with that group and what they're doing. So conversely for us, our leading rushers are freshmen. Our leading tacklers are freshmen. Our leading receiver is a sophomore. So 4 of our starting O-linemen are brand new starters this year. They're in their 10th year or 11th year together, and their coaching staff, and again we're in our second. So real contrast. You got a passing offense versus a rushing offense. So there's see a lot of contrast in this game. And it's a very interesting matchup. We actually think we match up really well with them, with schematically what we do. But as I've said before, schemes, everybody's got good schemes. Some players that got to execute them. And we're up for the challenge. It's going to be a big challenge, and it should be a fun game because you're going to see the best team in our league. This is the best team in our league. And they're going to be playing for a conference championship on Saturday. If they win the conference outright. They don't have to share it with anybody. No matter what happens that last week to them, they're going to win the conference if they win this game. So they're going to put a lot into that. They don't want to wait until next week, I'm sure. That's a good thing for us because we can, we got to tell our kids, look, they're not looking past you. They're not looking past you. You got to be ready to go. Got to be ready to go, and I think our guys will be excited to play the game, and these seniors have put a lot into this program. They've been the ones that have led this transition into Division II, and there's 22 of them. So There are 22 seniors. A lot of them don't play, and that's all right. But they put a lot into it. Put a lot into the program, and especially early on in the transition. So I'm real proud of those 22 guys for sticking it out and playing their career and finishing their career. Obviously, be the last game on Ranger Field for some of the more prominent players in our program's history. Honestly, with Reed Miller and Joby St. Fleur and Jordan Norris all graduating. Jordan's pretty close to setting the school record in interceptions. Of course, Reed's set every record there is at quarterback that we have that we keep track of. And then Joby, of course, has been a stalwart for us on defense and is probably going to play on Sundays. So it'll be their last hurrah, and it'll be I'm sure they're going to put a lot into it. So I'm very excited for Saturday, and just ready to get back on the field and try to get the bad taste from this weekend out of our mouths. So anyway, that's about all I got. Anybody got any questions about the game Saturday or the one we just played? If y'all watched it, it was a crazy game Saturday, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Yeah. It was nuts. It was a wild one. So some things happened during that game I'd never even been a part of before either. So I was like, what is going on? So, but it was fun. It was fun winning. I mean, at the end of the day, you guys are playing really hard and they're having fun playing. That's all you can really ask for. That's what you want. That's what you want. So, well, thank you guys very much, and we'll see you on Saturday.